Good morning everyone. In the previous video you have seen the explanation of the poem My Mother. I hope all of you have understood. And now you have to see the grammar part of the first section, the tattered blanket. All of you open the page number 9 in your textbook. Here given one sentence. She saw a bald, fat, middle-aged man. Here observe bald, fat, middle-aged man. These all are what we call objects. Which word in the underlined part is important? The underlined part in the above sentence has more than one word. It's called a phrase. Here we discuss what is the phrase. In sentence there is no verb. Without using the verb will be called as a phrase. Phrase does not give full meaning. It gives only half of the meaning. Clause means verb present in the group of sentences. It will give the full meaning of sentence. No verb forms in the sentence. There is no verb. That one will be called as the phrase. If there is the verb form, that one will be called as the clause. Phrase does not give the any meaning and clause gives the meaning. Here see all of you, the bald, fat, middle-aged man is underlined. It has any full meaning? No, don't have any meaning. The underlined part, a bald, fat, middle-aged man functions as a noun phrase. These all are giving more information about this noun. So it is called noun phrase. Here the word man is important and all other words add more information to the word. So it is called a noun phrase. Why? Because man is the noun. All of you see in the textbook. There is A is article, bald is adjective, fat is adjective, middle-aged is adjective and man is noun. Here see all of you complete the sentences with noun phrase using the words given in the brackets. Here what is in the first bracket? Beautiful, a umbrella, red. I bought dash. What we need to write? A beautiful red umbrella. I bought a beautiful red umbrella. With full meaning we need to write. And the next bit, we saw dash in the zoo. Baby, a elephant of couple. What we need to write with full meaning? We saw a couple of baby elephants. Our grandfather lives in dash big house, a stone built. What we need to write here? A stone built big house. Next, last one, very important bit. Ramya has a dash nice a sari silk. What we need to write here? A nice silk sari. Next one, noun phrase in opposition. Look at the following sentences and observe the underlined part in each sentences. Here first sentence, Kamala, her eldest daughter, a widow, got up reluctantly. Second sentence, don't you remember Vimala, district collector Nambiar's eldest sister? Here Kamala and Vimala nouns. Information about them after the nouns. So these type of sentences will be called as the noun phrase in opposition. If the information before the noun, they will be called as the noun phrase. If the information after the noun will be called as the noun phrase in opposition. All of you see in the page number 10. The underlined parts in the above sentences refers to the nouns that occur before them. The underlined parts are called noun phrase in applications. Rewrite the following sentences using noun phrases in opposition. First one, Mahesh is my elder brother. He lives in Delhi. How we can write these sentences in the form of the noun phrase in opposition? Mahesh, my eldest brother, lives in Delhi. Next one, Sarojini Naidu is popularly known as the Nightingale of India. She wrote many poems in English. How we can write these in the noun phrase opposition? All of you see in the first bit, Mahesh is my elder brother. He lives in Delhi. These two are both two different sentences. We need to add these two sentences by using the noun phrase in opposition with the full meaning. Like this, we need to write all the blanks. So Mahesh, my elder brother, lives in Delhi. Next one, Sarojini Naidu, popularly known as the Nightingale of India. She wrote many poems in English. How we can write this one? Sarojini Naidu, the Nightingale of India, wrote many poems in English. Here we are telling about the Sarojini Naidu. What is the Sarojini Naidu? Noun form. And we are giving information about the noun. So This is after what happened to the information giving to the noun. After noun, the information giving about the Sarojini Naidu. So this is the noun phrase in opposition. How we can write the noun phrase in opposition like this. Here Sarojini Naidu is a noun. Next, third one. Rabindranath Tagore is called Gurudev. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913. How we can write here? What is the noun? What is the information about the noun? Rabindranath Tagore is the noun, and he got a Nobel Prize is the information about the noun. How we can write this one? Rabindranath Tagore, the Gurudev was awarded the Nobel Prize of Literature in 1930. Next, fourth one. Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. It is located in Nepal. Mountain Everest, the highest peak, is located in Nepal. That's like we have to write. Now let us see about the grammar part of the poem, My Mother poem. All of you open page number 14. All of you see in the box, figurative language. What is the figurative language? Figurative language, the use of words to express meaning beyond the literal meaning of the words themselves. So imaginary, the poet used in the My Mother poem. So what is imagery? Language which describes something in details using words to substitute for and create sensory stimulation, including visual imagery and sound imagery. Now also here one example is there. Mother rocking the cradle. Her child senses with eyes and ears. Next one, metaphor. What is the metaphor? The comparison of two unlike things in which no words of comparison, like or as, are used. Example, Harry was a lion in the fight. It means Harry fought a lion. For example, he was there in the race. That means he ran as fast in the dare. Here when we use as or like, then it will become simile. When we don't use the words as or like to compare to unlike things, then it becomes a metaphor. Comparison between two unlike things, no words in comparison like or as like is used, it becomes a metaphor. Simile means a figure of speech involving a comparison between unlike things using like, as or as though. Example, as cool as a cucumber, as white as snow. Life is just like an ice cream. So when we use as or like, then it becomes simile. When we don't use as or as words or as like to compare to unlike things, then it becomes metaphor. So have understood the difference between a metaphor and simile? So these are all figure of speech that usually used in the poem poet used. One more figure of speech, personification. Personification nothing but they are not human but given human characterization. All of you see in the textbook, personification, giving non-human objects human characteristics. The moon danced mournfully over the water. So this is about the figurative language. All of you understood? Let us know about the grammar part. Glossary. On page number 13. Here some meanings are there. We know about that meanings. Hover, remain in the air. Surely, smell white or orange flowers that bloom in the autumn. Scent, perfume or good smell. Next, answer the following questions. First question, how does the poet feel the presence of his mother? See the answer. As the poet feels the presence of his mother almost in whatever he does. When he plays with his toys, he feels a tune hover over them. This tune is of a song that his mother used to sing while she cradled him. When it is the early autumn morning, the smell of tulip flower in the air, the scent of the morning scents in the temple comes to him. This scent of his mother, when he looks outside through his bedroom window, He feels the silent gaze of his mother on his face. He feels this has spread all over the sky. This is how he feels presence of his mother. Next question. What do you understand from the statement I cannot remember my mother poem? Answer. Tagore's mother passed away when he was young. In this poem, he expresses his inability to actually recall the face of the features of his mother. But often a smell or a tune triggered off in him happy moments that he shared with his mother. Next question. Does the poem convey sadness? If yes, pick out the suggestive expressions. Yes, the poet conveyed his sadness that he had lost his mother at a very less age and was remembering her with his memories. Next, fourth question. What imagery do you find in each stanza? How does it appeal to you? In the first stanza, mother rocking the cradle and singing a song. Sentence it appeals to ears. And in the second stanza, scent of my mother through smell of tulip flower and scent of morning service in the temple. The sense it appeals to nose. And in the third stanza, send my eyes into the blue sky and feel the stillness of my mother. The scent it appeals to eyes. Now read the My Mother poem again to complete the table. See all of your tabular form. Who are the persons involved? In stanza 1, infant mother. Stanza 2, young mother. Stanza 3, grown up mother. Now stanza 3, grown up mother. Infant mother, young mother, and in stanza 3, grown up mother. Next question. Where does the action take place? In stanza 1 takes place in the house. In stanza 2 takes place in the garden and temple. That means tulip flower. And stanza 3 bedroom and living room. Here this is about the question number 2. Where does the action takes place? In stanza 1 house, and in stanza 2 garden and temple, and in the stanza 3 bedroom and living room. So third question. What is the mother associated with? Stanza 1 rocking the cradle, and stanza 2 worship in the temple, and stanza 3 we all know about the blessings. In stanza 1 rocking the cradle, and stanza 2 worship, and stanza 3 blessings. The last question. What is the theme? In the first stanza song, and in the second stanza holiness, in the third stanza love and all of you write in your textbook. Next question. We all love our mothers, don't we? We love her because of certain qualities. Think and write about her qualities. What qualities can you write usually? Mother takes care, encourages, and sacrifices. So like this there are many qualities we can write about mother. So students, you can understood the poem My Mother written by Rabindranath Tagore. Now let us see some reading skills of this poem. Here all of you see the first stanza. I cannot remember my only sometimes in the midst of my play. A tune seems to over my playthings. The tune of some song that she used to hum while rocking my cradle. I cannot remember my mother, but when in the early autumn morning, the smell of the tulip flower float in the air. The scent of the morning service in the temple comes to me at the scent of my mother. Here are some questions other which we have to answer. First question. What happens in the art which the poet of his mother? The answer of the first question is the smell of the tulip flower which floats in the air reminds the poet of his mother. Next question. What do you think the poets of mother did with the tulip flowers? Answer. She offered the tulip flowers the god in the temple. Next question. Now when did the poet's mother hum the song? Poet's mother hummed the song while rocking his cradle. Next question. What is the poet doing when he reminds his mother? When he was playing with his playthings, he reminds his mother. The last question. What do you understand from the statement? I cannot remember my mother. From this sentence, I cannot remember my mother. Why? Because poet saying like this, because his mother passed away when he was a child. So that's why he was saying I cannot remember my mother. Now let us see some more stanzas. Next stanza. I cannot remember my mother, only when from my bedroom window I send my eyes into the blue of the distant sky. I feel that the stillness of my mother's grace on my face has spread all over the sky. From these stanzas, some questions are there given. First question. Who is the author of this poem? The author of this poem, Rabindranath Tagore. Second question. Where does the poet find his mother? Yes. Poet find his mother in distant sky. Imagine the distant sky. Poet found his mother in the distant sky. Third question. Which word in the stanza means a constant look? Constant look means continuous looking. Which word gives that meaning? Here in this stanza, gaze. Gaze gives the constant looking. A constant look means gaze. Why do you think the poet does not remember his mother? Why? Because he does not remember his mother. He was infant when his mother passed away. So he cannot remember his mother. Last question. Pick out the word from the stanza which is the antonym of near. Which is the antonym of near. The word near, the antonym word we need to find out from the stanza. We cannot write the antonym of the near far. Here we need to find out the antonym of the stanza. What is the here opposite word to the near? Distant. The opposite word to the distant. Okay, all of you understood? Read once again stanza 1, stanza 2, stanza 3. Thank you everyone.